Hello again and welcome to our Nigerian viewers and viewers across the world. This is News Track. Here are some of the stories and reports we are following for you this hour. We begin in Abuja, where the Chief of Communication and Information Technology of the Nigerian Navy, Rear Admiral Samuel Adepegba, says the service will continue to meet up with its constitutional commitments in collaboration with other security agencies in Nigeria to improve national security. Addressing officers of the service after its second quarter 10-kilometer walk in Abuja, Rear Admiral Adepegba, who represented the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, helps of the need for professionalism by officers and ratings of the service, as he stressed the need for them to keep the flag flying by diligently performing their duties while maintaining utmost regard for human rights. He adds that the route march is aimed at developing personnel's physical and mental alertness to meet the dynamics of contemporary security operations, as well as fostering esprit de corps with other security agencies.
The Nigerian Navy is primarily responsible for the protection of the nation's maritime domain and also a major contributor to the Gulf of Guinea maritime security arrangement. The service is also a major participant in the internal security duties all over the country. This makes it imperative for us to mentally and physically fit at all times. Thus, exercises and physical training remains the bedrock of naval personnel's daily mental and physical readiness for sea and ashore duties. Notably, the commitment of the Nigerian Navy towards enhancing mental and physical fitness has yielded dividends, as witnessed with the sterling contribution to the national security, peace, and prosperity. It is in recognition of this fact that the desire of the service to keep the personnel physically fit that the route march, amongst other physical fitness exercises, are sustained in the Nigerian Navy schedule of events. Fortunately, the performance we have witnessed today guarantees that the Nigerian Navy will continue to meet up with the constitutional commitment in collaboration with other security agencies in Nigeria to improve national security.
To other stories, the Department of State Services DSS has released a Kaduna State resident, Nura Idris, after an internal review found no evidence linking him to Boko Haram. According to security sources, Idris, a farmer and livestock rearer from Soba local government area, was arrested in Suleja, Niger State in June 2024 by another security agency over alleged terrorist links before being transferred to DSS custody. The sources said a review panel set up by the DSS concluded that the allegations against him were unsubstantiated, prompting the DG of the service, Oluwatosi Ajayi, to order his immediate release. The DSS also presented Idris with a 3 million naira support to support his reintegration with the agency, indicating that further assistance would be provided to help him rebuild his livelihood. Speaking after his release, Idris expressed appreciation to the DSS, saying the financial support would help him restart his life. In a bid to ensure smooth operations, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, representing Mr. Ishaku Mohammed, has embarked on an operational visit and tour of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command. The visit, which was held at the command headquarters, was attended by senior officers of the command, community stakeholders from across the Federal Capital Territory, and officers and men at the command headquarters.
This operational visit to FCT Police Command is at the instance of the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Olatunji Disu, as the Nigeria Police Force continues to reposition itself to address the nation's security challenges. In his address, the FCT Commissioner of Police makes a commitment to strengthening policing through effective supervision and continuous operational assessment. He equally highlighted recent operational achievements of the command.
The FCT Police Command has continued to uphold the highest standards of professionality in policing and accountability in matters of public concern. We have also restored peace and security in communities such as Pasay Hills, bordering Kaduna and Niger State, Kuchibui Village, bordering Niger State, Kashi Hills, bordering Nasarawa State, and Dogo, Kungapo villages.
Addressing officers and men of the command, the DIG, who is in charge of the Department of Training and Development, disclosed that the visit is aimed at assessing the prevailing security architecture, inspecting operational systems, evaluating ongoing policing strategies, and making informed recommendations that will enhance operational efficiency of the force across the zone.
I am also here to evaluate the operational capabilities and strategy of the FCT Police Command in addressing the prevailing and emerging crime and threats to public safety.
He also highlighted the need for officers to diligently implement the policing directives of the IGP.
He has also directed that while performing a duty, you should always be alert. He doesn't want to hear the bad news of losing any one of you. So while on duty, you must and you should be vigilant.
The visit featured an interactive session between the Deputy Inspector of Police and officers of the command, as well as community representatives, during which critical security concerns, operational challenges, and strategies for enhancing effective policing within the Federal Capital Territory were addressed.
Back here in Lagos, the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is asking residents to play their role in keeping the metropolis clean. Speaking after the monthly sanitation exercise carried out in Ojo-Elegba, Surulere and Kosofe area of the state, the governor says collective action is highly needed on the part of government and the people to achieve a cleaner Lagos. He asked that an additional 150 compacted trucks have been procured to increase logistics and enhance waste collection across the state.
Unapproved refuse points appear to be on the increase in Lagos State as some residents resort to dumping their refuse along the median due to delayed pickup by PSP operators. Moving around Maryland axis, Kosofe to Alimosho and Apapa area of the state, the situation is the same. Some parts of Ojo-Elegba area of Surulere are littered with refuse, even on a sanitation day. The entire Lagos median is occupied with bags of refuse.
We are the problem of ourselves in Lagos. Why I say so is, when you are putting refuse on the highway and you are not putting inside the carrier bags to tie it, and you scatter it everywhere, when motor passes around, will sprinkle everything on everywhere.
Perhaps the nonchalant attitude of the residents and those selling things around here is what you are seeing the result of.
I think government also should arrest anyone that does that kind of thing.
The environmental challenge has prompted the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his wife, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, wife of the Deputy Governor, and other senior government officials to join the cleanup exercise in clearing the dirt.
It's a very big challenge for Lagos State. Back in cleaner Lagos and the rest of those things, that's been a very, very big challenge for Lagos State, and I think they should really work on that.
I think we need more PSP workers like lawmans. We need more. We need more because they're the ones that have not been coming. Not like we like the way our environment has been, no.
Governor Sanwo-Olu says 150 additional waste compactor trucks have been procured to improve waste collection services, warning residents to stop the act of illegal waste disposal.
Everybody must participate, and clean the environment. But taking it forward, what are we doing? We realize that apart from institutional problems, there are also logistics issues. We've made order to procure additional compactor trucks, about 150 brand new compactor trucks. In fact, in the next 3 months, we should start receiving them. We're also working to design compactor tricycles that will move into inner streets and inner roads and be able to stop them from bringing these waste on the highways.
He also orders the clearing of illegal trading activity along the Badagry Expressway.
The Lagos-Badagry Express Road from Orile all the way to Lasso, Okokomaiko. We are coming to clear the entire media. We are coming to clear the entire media, and it will start from next week. Whatever it is that will be destroyed, will be taken away. On the median, it's a 10-lane highway that was built with the resources of our taxpayers, and will not fold our arms and turn that international gateway into a slum.
Lagos State is currently experiencing challenges with the existing landfill, including Olusosun, which is flooded as a result of the rainfall pattern. But government is not deterred as work continues at the dump site to complete a transfer loading station that will decongest the landfill.
This place will be one of the transfer loading stations that will transfer about 2,500 metric tons of waste a day to the material recovery sites that will be at Ikorodu. And the target is for them to commence before the end of the year.
The Lagos State government says the pick and dump linear waste system is not sustainable, and residents must look beyond the refuse and embrace the Waste to Wealth initiative to achieve a cleaner Lagos.
You're watching News Track live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. We're due for a break. When we come back, Congo head coach Sebastian de Sabre has promised the Leopards will try to keep the dream alive of reaching, progressing to the last 32. We'll tell you all about these from the world of sports. We're back in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Data from the community service units of the Lagos State government shows that about 289.7 billion naira has been saved in the last 14 years through reduced custodial detention. This was disclosed at a stakeholder sensitization program on community service put together by the state's Ministry of Justice. Attorney General of the state, Pedro Lawal, also used the opportunity of the event to call for increased stakeholder support to advance the core pillars of community service scheme, namely justice, reforms, rehabilitation, and reintegration.
The Stakeholders Sensitization Program on Community Service in Lagos attracted representatives from the judiciary, law firms, civil society organizations, corporate bodies, government agencies, development partners, and many others to seek ways to strengthen the implementation of non-custodial sentencing and restorative justice in the state. Panelists, including the director of the Community Service Unit and the representative of the National Human Rights Commission, highlighted the role of restorative justice in ensuring that offenders take responsibility for their actions while providing them with opportunities for rehabilitation. They also spoke to some of the challenges.
You need to visit the correctional centers to really appreciate what it means to have CSU. Because in the correctional centers, that is the epicenter of violation of human rights. You just need to check the cells, see what they are going through, how many people are in a closed cell, the overcrowding, the health situation, the environment, and everything is nothing to talk about.
The actors in the criminal justice sector, that includes legal practitioners, the registrars, the police prosecutors. You know, sometimes we have pushback from the system.
The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, represented by the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, emphasized that the effectiveness of community service sentencing depends on robust institutional support, effective supervision, and active participation from both public and private sector stakeholders.
We have seen data from the community service unit showing that for the past 14 years, they have saved the government over 200 billion naira. This is an amount that ordinarily the government would have spent on the inmates in the event that these people are kept in custody. But because they were given that opportunity to serve community service, the state did not spend a dime on them. So the people need to embrace community service. It's not for the benefit of those who are just serving, it's also for the community to also benefit from them.
A major highlight of the program was the presentation of testimonies by beneficiaries of the scheme who shared personal accounts of how the initiative contributed to their reform, skill acquisition, and successful reintegration into the society.
So for this assignment, everybody needs to come on board. There are various levels to it, and we all need to support it because it's what we can do to make our society better.
The leadership of the Community Service Unit says engagements and insights shared during this event would strengthen collaboration, promote offender rehabilitation and reintegration, and further enhance community-based correction in Lagos State. Shola Shirley, Channels Television News.
In Kwara State, a coalition of young stakeholders in the APC is calling for dialogue to resolve issues arising from the party's recent primaries while reaffirming support for Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak's prosperity agenda. Addressing journalists in Ilorin, the coalition's coordinator Abiola Nasser endorsed the governor's preferred successor Yakubu Danladi Salihu, saying his administration would better represent and empower young people. Similarly, the Kwara South Young Professionals in Politics, led by spokesperson Lukman Abdul Qadri Jimba, is urging aggrieved APC members and aspirants to use party mechanisms and dialogue to settle disputes instead of actions that could weaken party unity.
Upon assumption of office, Governor Abdurrazak embarked on a comprehensive assessment of the state's challenges and developed a practical blueprint for sustainable development through prudent management of resources and commitment to transparency and accountability. His administration began implementing reforms that have transformed the state.
We therefore call on all progressive-minded citizens, traditional rulers, community leaders, youth groups, women associations, professionals, artisans, traders, students, and stakeholders across the 16 local government areas of Kwara State to support his candidature. We also wish to appeal to all aspirants who participated in the APC governorship process. We recognize and appreciate their contributions, sacrifice, and commitment to the progress of our party and state. They are all respected leaders with genuine, they are all respected leaders with genuine aspiration for development of Kwara State. However, democracy allows only one winner at a time. While everyone cannot emerge as the party's candidate, everyone can still contribute meaningfully to the success of the party and development of the state. We therefore urge all former aspirants and their supporters to rally behind Right Honorable Salihu Danladi Yakubu, irrespective of Central District.
A federal high court in Port Harcourt has commenced sitting in a suit filed by governorship aspirants under the Nigeria Democratic Congress NDC in Rivers State's Kings Unyawaji against alleged irregularities in the party's governorship primaries. Mr. Kings, who said he was excluded from the governorship primary, is praying the court to restrain NDC from presenting a candidate to the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC for the 2027 governorship elections in Rivers State. He's also seeking an interim injunction restraining INEC from recognizing Dumolugo Briggs as the governorship candidates of the NDC. After listening to the plaintiff's counsel, Justice Adamu Mohammed adjourned the matter to July 8, 2026 and approved an application for substituted service on Dumolugo Briggs, with the fourth respondent in the matter. On his part, the NDC governorship aspirant said his exclusion from the party's governorship primaries after being cleared is an infringement on his rights. The federal government has accessed the first $1.5 billion from its $5 billion financing agreements with First Abu Dhabi Bank, marking a key step in its plan to refinance expensive debt and bridge the budget deficit. According to Bloomberg, the funding was secured through a total return swap, with Nigeria providing Naira-denominated securities valued at 133.3% of the loan as collateral. The remaining $3.5 billion will be drawn in phases. However, the International Monetary Fund, that's IMF, has warned that derivatives-based financing can be complex and lacks transparency, while Fitch Ratings says the arrangement could increase refinancing and foreign exchange risks if the Naira weakens or domestic yields rise. The government says the facility will help reduce borrowing costs, support infrastructure spending, and diversify Nigeria's funding sources. And German car maker Volkswagen says it plans to cut up to 100,000 jobs from the current workforce worldwide over the next few years and discontinue production at 4 of the group's German plants. In a statement released Friday, the auto giant's chief executive says it also intends to reduce investments by around 15% to just over $148 billion over the next 5 years. Beyond job cuts, the group is reportedly planning a fundamental overhaul of its structure, with both the core Volkswagen brand and the components division expected to be carved out of the group and turned into independent companies. Volkswagen, like its German and European peers, is under pressure from tariffs, Chinese competition, and the costly shift to electric vehicles. US President Donald Trump has threatened to impose a 100% tariff on imports from any country that introduces a digital services tax targeting American technology companies. Mr. Trump says the proposed tariffs would override existing trade agreements, arguing that such taxes unfairly discriminate against U.S. firms. The warning comes as the U.S. and the European Union work to finalize a trade agreement ahead of a July 4 deadline, raising concerns that the dispute could escalate into a broader trade conflict. On the international scene, the U.S. military has conducted strikes on Iranian targets after President Donald Trump accused Iran of what he described as a foolish violation of a truce following an attack on a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command said it struck missile and drone storage facilities as well as coastal radar positions in response to a drone attack on a cargo ship that halted a planned evacuation of sailors stranded in the region. However, Tehran claimed the cargo ship was attacked because it was using an authorized route through the Gulf waters. Following the U.S. strikes, Iran accused Washington of violating the interim agreement and said it had launched strikes on targets linked to American forces. Now, these are the words of President Donald Trump delivered just hours before U.S. forces announced strikes on targets in Iran. world of sports, DR Congo's head coach Sebastian de Sabre has promised the Leopards will try to keep the dream alive for with that story there from the FIFA World Cup. Does it for us on this hour of News Track. Thanks indeed for watching. I'm Kelly Egiga. Bye now.